Good morning, everyone. It's Mrs. Harrison here. I've spared you the little image of my face down in the corner for this assembly, but I'm sure you'll recognise my PowerPoint slides and you'll recognise my voice. So I hope you're all doing well today. I know lots of you are still at home, working really hard, and trying as best you can, working from a home environment and corresponding with your teachers via Seesaw and things. But also quite a lot of you are in school, so you might be sitting there now listening to this assembly in one of the classrooms in Rackham. So welcome to you all. Today's assembly is about all pulling together. And there's a little picture there on the side. I'm thinking some of you, particularly some of you in Key Stage 2, will be able to guess what story I might be telling from this slide here. So having a think about that picture, what is that a picture of? And how that might relate to all pulling together. If you think you might know, tell whoever is in the room with you right now, if there's someone there, or put your hands up if you're in school and let the teacher know what you think this assembly might be about. So, next thing I want you to do is to have a think and think about what DIY stands for. What is it? What is DIY? So you might hear people say, oh, I'm itching to do some DIY, or I'm popping out to the DIY store, or I love DIY, or some people might say I really don't love DIY. That would be me. I find it very stressful. I'll put a picture clue on the slide there. Have a look at that. DIY, you could probably spot the letters, but hanging off those wooden letters are various tools, and those are the kinds of tools that you would need, not all of them, but some of them that you might need for DIY jobs or DIY tasks. If you think you know, I'm thinking quite a lot of our Key Stage 2 pupils should know the answer to this, then tell whoever you're sitting in the room with, or just say it out loud if you're sitting on your own, and you'll be able to be proud of yourself later when we find out what it means. And if you don't know what it means, just have a look and have a think. So, I'm going to tell you now, DIY stands for do it yourself, which sounds, when you say it like that, a little bit rude, a little bit bossy, like an imperative sentence there or a verb, but no, what it means is do it yourself, as in do some jobs around the house normally that you can do yourself rather than paying someone else to do them for you. So it might be fixing a bookshelf, or sorting out the tiling in your bathroom, or a garage or a shed, or in the kitchen or under the sink, or something in the living room and some settees. DIY stands for do it yourself. And when you go to a DIY store, probably the most famous one being IKEA, which has bright blue and yellow signs. Some of you have been there, I'm sure of it. IKEA sell lots of things that you would buy so that you can do DIY at home. The sort of thing I'm talking about is a big flat pack, which might be a big flat cardboard box full of bits of wood in, and then whoever's going to be doing the DIY has to piece all of those bits of wood together to make a piece of furniture or something. Now I find that job very stressful. It always looks easy, but sometimes you don't have enough screws to make the furniture right, or the instructions really don't make any sense, and it can be quite frustrating and a little bit stressful. But the name DIY, that's what it stands for. Doing things yourself, do it yourself, normally around the home. Once upon a time, an old man planted a turnip. He carefully tended over it, watering it regularly and shading it from the hot sun. As the months passed, the turnip grew and grew and grew until it was enormous. Look how enormous it is. It's probably bigger than the man himself there, if you look at it. It's time we pulled that turnip up, said the old man's wife. I'll make a delicious turnip soup for our dinner. So the old man went to pull the turnip out of the ground. He pulled and he pulled, but no matter how hard he pulled, he could not pull the turnip up. Come and help me, wife, he called. I can't pull the turnip out of the ground. So the old woman pulled the old man, and the old man pulled the turnip. They pulled and they pulled and they pulled, but no matter how hard they pulled, they could not pull the turnip up. Come and help us, they called to their neighbour. We can't pull the turnip out of the ground. So the neighbour pulled the old woman pulled the old man, and the old man pulled the turnip. They pulled and they pulled and they pulled, but no matter how hard they pulled, they could not pull the turnip up. Come and help us, the neighbour called to his son. We can't pull the turnip out of the ground. So the son pulled the neighbour pulled the old woman pulled the old man, and the old man pulled the turnip. They pulled and they pulled and they pulled, but no matter how hard they pulled, they could not pull that turnip up. Come and help us, the son called to his dog. We can't pull the turnip out of the ground. So the dog pulled the son pulled the neighbour pulled the old woman pulled the old man, and the old man pulled the turnip. But no matter how hard they pulled, they could not pull that turnip up. Come and help us! That's my dog voice. The dog barked to the cat, who was sitting watching them. That's what cats do, isn't it? They just watch. We can't pull the turnip out of the ground, said the dog. So the cat pulled the dog pulled the son pulled the neighbour pulled the old woman pulled the old man, and the old man pulled the turnip. They pulled and they pulled and they pulled. Pop! Out of the ground came the turnip, and they all tumbled backwards into a great big heap. Well, all that pulling had made them very hungry, so they pushed and they heaved, and at last they managed to shove the enormous turnip into the house. The old man's wife cooked up a delicious pot of turnip soup, and they all sat down together to enjoy the feast. And I really like that picture, because look at the little cat and the little dog. They've got spoons. I'm not sure the cat's going to use that spoon. I don't know about you. But they all look very happy to be having some, what I can imagine is rather healthy, tasty turnip soup. So have a think. You might recognise this picture here from our corridor in school of our Rackham 5 R's. Have a think carefully. And what do you think the story is trying to teach us? And which of our 5 R's do you think it links in with really, really well? It's really important to us at Rackham that we do this, and that we work on these things. Have a think about that. Now, if you said or were thinking in your head about our relationships, then you're absolutely right. It really is about relationships, and it's important that you know relationships doesn't just mean making sure that you've got lots of good friends and you've got positive relationships with your adults in your life and your teachers. It's also about knowing how to use those relationships for the greater good, and how to utilise the strength that can be found in good friendships and good relationships. So I want you to just have a think. When we meet with a huge challenge and are faced with a big task, a bit like we all are at the moment, not just in Witchford, but in Cambridgeshire and England and the UK and in Europe and in the whole world, we're all faced with big tasks. It's important that we pull together. That we all pull together so that we can do the very best we can in the situation. And that's why it's important that we remember with relationships, it's about pulling together with those people in our lives so that we can do better things. Everyone's effort is crucial, and just like the little cat in the story, the smallest little bit of help can make all the difference. Because they couldn't pull that turnip out on their own, just that one little bit more was enough to turn that story into a success, and everyone was happy at the end, having some nice healthy soup. And it's really important to realise that that is a metaphor for life, and that when you pull together and you build up those strong relationships where you work together for the greater good, then good things can happen. I want you to have a think about how you can work together with others today. Fortunately, we're in a situation where Yes, we might not all be able to go out in the garden and pull up some vegetables by holding on to each other. We can't get that close to each other. But technology at this day and age does mean that we can still support and work with each other, even remotely. I know that this is certainly what the adults at Rackham have been doing for some time now. We've been working together really closely just on email and WhatsApp and YouTube and all the different things, and Seesaw and Purple Mash, the different things that technology affords us to be able to do. And that is a wonderful thing. But I want you to think about times when someone has helped you. Often, these might not be enormous things like helping you pull out an enormous turnip. Maybe someone has helped you when you've fallen over, or they've been kind to you when you're feeling sad. It could just be something really simple. A brother or sister might be helping you with some of your home learning, or maybe you just had a little cuddle from your mum or your dad when you're feeling stressed. Anything little that makes a difference to how you're feeling is really important, and that's what we're talking about when we say pulling together. And I want you to think about looking out for little things that you can do today and tomorrow and for the foreseeable future that can help make a big difference to other people. So if you could join me at the end of our assembly now for some collective worship, you can say Amen at the end if you want to, or you can read along with me if you'd like to. Dear God, please help us to learn to work together. May we never be too proud to ask for help, nor too hesitant to give it. Thank you for the ways in which we will help and have helped one another today. Amen. Okay, so thank you for joining me for today's assembly, and fortunately I've managed to keep it within 15 minutes. I know that doesn't usually happen when I'm in the hall, but at least we have that small mercy. Now on Friday I have actually already shared with your parents and carers today a special assembly which is being led by Anton Deck and David Williams to do with what to do if you've got too many worries in your head and how to deal with those and how to talk about them. Now I haven't seen that assembly yet, so I'm hoping that I've done the right thing in asking you all to watch it. I'm pretty certain it will be a very good assembly, and I will certainly be watching it as well with you all. So if you can join us on Friday, please do. All right, take care everyone. Thank you.